Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome back to the channel. Regular season football is back for the 2025-2026 NFL season. The Seahawks just finished up their season opener to 2025-2026 against the 49ers in week one, and yeah, as you could probably tell by the thumbnail and probably tell by my energy, I'm happy football is back in the regular season and the games actually matter. But if I had to describe this game in one word, it would be defense and very low scoring. Sadly, the Seahawks end up going 0-1 on this new season. And before I ramble on too much more in the intro, I'm just here to recap it for you guys. So let's get in to recapping the first game of the regular season between the Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. Helps me know if I'm doing a good job with these game recaps or not. And if you'd like to see any more Seahawks future content from this channel, please consider subscribing as I am trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And let's get to game summary. The 49ers win it on the road 17 to the Seahawks 14. And let's start off with the Seahawks because they were the home team in this one. 230 total yards, 146 passing yards, 84 rushing yards, 4.6 yards per play, 14 first downs. They went 3 for 10 on third down. Unacceptable as a Seahawks fan. Just unacceptable from this new look offense. I expected more in the first game. Didn't go for it on fourth down. Had 50 total plays. One sack allowed, five punts, four penalties for 30 yards given up, two fumbles lost in this game, one to literally end the game. It was what, 56 seconds in the fourth quarter, strip sack fumble by Nick Bosa. We'll get into that. And then a Jackson Smith-Njigba fumble in the fourth quarter. That just really sucks. No interceptions thrown by Sam Darnold in his debut. That's nice to see. And the Seahawks ended off the night with 22 minutes and 2 seconds of possession time. For the 49ers, they had 384 total yards, 265 passing yards, 119 rushing yards, averaged 5.3 yards per play, had 24 first downs, went 7 for 14 on third down, went 2 for 2 on fourth down, had 72 total plays, one sack allowed, two punts, nine penalties for 61 yards given up, zero fumbles lost, and two interceptions thrown by Brock Purdy, one intercepted by Ernest Jones, the other intercepted by Josh Jobe, and the 49ers ended off the day with 37 minutes and 58 seconds of possession time. For Ryan's focus players, let's talk about Sam Darnold, QB1 here in Seattle. His 16 for 23, 150 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. And the big thing about Sam Darnold, he was brought in here for one sole purpose. And you see it on the field, you saw it on the field tonight, that he is a game manager. He is not going to be the guy that is going to be the X factor around this offense. He's going to be the guy that's going to get the touchdowns. You're going to want the game-winning drives out of Sam Darnold, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to go out there and have to put up record-breaking numbers like he did last year with the Minnesota Vikings. He's not gonna be that guy. It's gonna be more on the run game. But honestly, Sam Darnold did pretty darn well in this game. You know, The strip sack fumble, what you gonna do? It's literally not his fault. He went to go throw the ball, and Nick Bosa literally just did what Nick Bosa does and literally pushed Abraham Lucas into Sam Darnold's arm. But you know what? For a first game, I think Sam Darnold really did well finding his favorite target, Jackson Smith-Njigba. We'll get to him and how his game went, but I honestly really like Sam Darnold. I'm glad that when you see him have a clean pocket, he can make those good decisions. And on his little bit of running, he did a little bit of running in this game. So good game from Sam Darnold. Let's get to running back Zach Charbonnet, 12 carries, 47 yards, average 3.9 yards per carry, the one touchdown in this game. Zach Charbonnet, he is going to have fun in this Clint Kubiak run first type of offense. Him and Kenneth Walker. Sadly, Kenneth Walker only had 10 carries for 20 yards. But Zach Charbonnet running between the tackles, that was nice to see. Gets the Seahawks on the board for the first touchdown of this young season. And he's just a guy through preseason and through here in the regular season. He's just a guy that can really, I think, push this team forward. So good game for Zach Charbonnet. Nice couple of broken tackles that he made. And, he's able to find gaps in this 49ers defense, which is still a pretty darn good unit, despite some of the heavy losses they suffered in free agency in the offseason this year. Let's get to number one wide receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba. 9 receptions, 124 yards, average 13.8 yards per play, no touchdowns. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, despite his one blemish of, coughing up the football in, I believe it was the third or the fourth quarter, when that happened, when the safety, Marquise Single, made that play to recover it. Despite that, Jackson Smith-Njigba, man, from the slot, he can play slot, he can play outside, and you saw that a lot in this game. He was going up against just everybody on this 49ers secondary. And he makes catches that just make me so happy as a Seahawks fan to see. This guy going into his third year in the league is our number one wide receiver, and he plays like a number one wide receiver. Some of the catches he made in this game, the one catch that he made on Draymond Green, if he had caught that ball, if he had held onto that ball, it was insane. Like he's able to get up and jump for the ball, and he's one of those guys that he's not a big wide receiver. He's not the DK Metcalf 6'4" guy, but he's gonna play like it and jump ball with some of these really good, talented corners in this league. And Jack Smith-Njigba had a really good game, and I think him and Sam Darnold are gonna get along just fine. Let's get to the Seahawks defense, the stars of the show, in my opinion. Let's get to D lineman Leonard Williams, 3 solo tackles, 4 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. But Leonard Williams just picks up where he left off from a season ago, just causing absolute mayhem for this San Francisco 49ers offensive line. It was a thing of beauty. The whole D line, if this is how the D line is playing in week one, I am going to love, and you're going to hear me talk about this defensive line for the Seahawks this year, because they were in Brock Purdy's face the whole entire game, forcing him into mistakes and making sure that they can stop the run game, which is extremely hard to do against a guy like Christian McCaffrey. But I think Leonard Williams is a stout defender. He played like it in this game. Him and DeMarcus Lawrence just bringing pressure and stopping the 49ers from scoring a lot of points in this game. Let's get to DB. And let's get to safety. Julian Love, 8 solo tackles, 2 assisted, the 1 sack, no interceptions. But this secondary, especially at the safety position, when the corners mess up, your back line are going to be Kobe Bryant and Julian Love. And Julian Love, ever since getting to Seattle and signing his new contract with Seattle last year, I can't imagine this guy not being on any other team except for Seattle. He's a veteran. He's a feisty player, ready to make every play that he can. And he got a sack in this game. He came off of a safety blitz after Nick Imamori went down. Man, Julian Love can play anywhere on the field that he wants, and you can trust him to make plays when guys mess up in this secondary. So I'm really happy with the Julian Love performance. He made some great solo tackles. That's why he's one of the best tacklers on this team. And can't wait to see more out of him and Kobe Bryant in the future. It's only week 1, so hope his performance continues. Let's get to linebacker. Let's get to inside linebacker Ernest Jones, the 4th, 3 solo tackles, 5 assisted, 0 sacks, the 1 interception. And I want to talk about this interception because it was a full team effort. I believe this was in the second quarter, and it was where Ernest Jones was like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm watching Brock Purdy the whole entire time because this D line had already set the mood that they were just going to run and crash into this offensive line for the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey was supposed to be in a spot, and he couldn't get out there because he got flattened by Drake Thomas. And when Brock Purdy was hurried, pressured, he made the mistake of forcing a pass, and you can't do that against Ernest Jones because Ernest Jones is a ball hawk. We saw that last year in the Mike McDonald defense when he was traded mid-season to the Seahawks. This guy is going to be the primary play caller. Again, what some teams call the green dot, which means he's going to be making all the defensive signals to this Mike McDonald defense, and he is the cornerstone linebacker ready to wreak havoc. Great game from Ernest Jones. Great pick from Ernest Jones. The anticipation to get that ball from an errant pass thrown by Brock Purdy was immense, and sadly, the Seahawks offense just couldn't come up with points on that turnover. But overall, great game from him. Let's talk about the 49ers. Let's talk about Brock Purdy, 26 for 35, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And to be honest, I think Brock Purdy is going to show a lot of people this year. And I hate to admit this because this is our rival. This is a team in our division that I hate playing up against because they're just so tough. But Brock Purdy is going to show everybody that even with limited weapons, like he's got who on his depth chart does he have for wide receivers? He has Parasol, he has Jenkins, and he has basically George Kittle. Well, George Kittle he used to get one of the touchdowns to get the first touchdown of the game, courtesy of George Kittle, where he threw 4 beautiful passes, and got it into George Kittle for the touchdown. And then George Kittle got a hamstring injury, and was taken out for most of this game. And he started just swinging the ball around to Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tunglis here that we will talk about. But I think Brock Purdy really had a good game. The 2 errant throws was basically because of pressure. There's just pressure in his face the whole entire game because of the Seahawks defense. And that's why the Seahawks defense is going to be elite this year, because of the pressure from this D line. It's going to make it difficult, and it sure made it difficult for Brock Purdy here, but he still ends up making enough big time throws to win the game for the 49ers. Good game from Brock Purdy. Let's get to running back Christian McCaffrey. Who else am I going to talk about? The workhorse, the absolute monster. 22 carries, 69 yards, averaged 3.1 yards per carry, no touchdowns, but his receptions is where it's at. 9 receptions, 73 yards, averaged 8.1 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. And here is the focal point of the 49ers offense. And this is why Kyle Shanahan is a really good play caller, in my opinion, for the 49ers, because despite the lack of actual receiving weapons, everything's going to run through Christian McCaffrey. And testament to the Seahawks D-line, they stopped him on the ground. 3.1 yards average per carry is extremely good, in my opinion, because usually in the NFL, you're looking at maybe 5 to 4 yards a carry to be really good for a running back. And to shut down someone who's as much elite as Christian McCaffrey is, that's insane. But I think with Christian McCaffrey, the thing with him that really makes me just angry all the time when I watch this guy torch my team is his dual threat ability, because you just get him touches and this guy will torch your entire team if he's not injured. When he is healthy, he is probably the best running back in the league, except for Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, but I'm biased. But really, though, I think Christian McCaffrey had a really good game in the passing game, in the run game, so it definitely helps having Christian McCaffrey on the field for the 49ers, because that's how they're going to win the majority of their games this year, I think. Let's get to tight end Jake Tungelis. 3 receptions, 15 yards, averaged 5 yards per reception, and the 1 touchdown. And yeah, you look at his stat line and you look at it and go, why are you highlighting this guy? Well, he was the replacement for George Kittle, the 26-year-old, literally on the final drive for the Seahawks, made 3 crucial catches in the red zone to take away any hope of the Seahawks winning this one, and I hate it. I hate it. This was one of the luckiest touchdowns I can say. Again, I'm being biased here, but man, you got to hand it to a guy like Jake Tungelis, who isn't going to get passes. If George Kittle is healthy, this guy is not getting passes. This guy is like a third tight end type of blocking tight end. And he made a really good play on the ball in this one. He made sure that he was in the right place at the right time. Purdy scrambles out of the pocket, getting forced and flushed. And Jake Tungelis is just there in the end zone, draped over by Reek Woolen, and he just catches the ball anyway. Surefire hands, red zone threat. Good game from Jake Tungelis. Let's get to the 49ers defense. The name of the game was defense today. D lineman Nick Bosa. Oh my God. Nick Bosa, I really, really dislike you. Pain in the arse when it comes to playing the 49ers. 6 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble that sealed the game. He was facing Abraham Lucas the majority of this game. And credit to the Seahawks offensive line for not allowing Nick Bosa to influence the game, or so we thought. But you know what? what else can I say about Nick Bosa? Just a freak of nature. Most of his tackles were solo tackles, and that's because he was coming in and blowing up the run game. He blew up the screen to Jackson Smith-Njigba that lost us 8 yards and basically cost us a drive. So thanks for that, Nick. I hate him with a passion because he's such a good pass rusher on the edge, and he gets paid the big bucks for a reason. So good game from Nick Bosa. Let's get to safety. I believe he's a 5th-round pick from this year's draft class. Marquise Signal, 5 solo tackles, 1 assisted tackle, 0 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. And this was the Jackson Smith-Njigba fumble recovery that he made in the 3rd or 4th quarter. I believe it was the 4th. But this guy, safety, coming out, and the 49ers had a bunch of guys leave this team. Haluwangu Hufunga was one of the safeties that was a cornerstone for this team, and this 5th-round pick comes out and shows that he could probably play in that spot. He could probably, make something of himself, and definitely with 5 solo tackles, 1 assisted, and 1 fumble recovery, he was a star. This game was all about moments, and this kid coming out in the 5th round, drafted this year. Um, the 49ers defense and Robert Saleh really know how to pick them. So good game from Marquise Seal. Let's get to linebacker D. Winters. 5 solo tackles, 1 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. And what's insane about D. Winters is that he is the Dre Greenlaw replacement. Dre Greenlaw left for the Broncos in free agency this year, and in steps D. Winters, who is a developmental guy from 2023. I believe he's a 6th-round pick for the 49ers, and he was all over the place. Like, all over the place. You could not go a play without him making something, putting something on the stat sheet. It was insane. And I think that the 49ers have found their Dre Greenlaw replacement because he plays a lot like Dre Greenlaw. So that's nice to know that the 49ers lose Dre Greenlaw, one of the best will linebackers in the league, and they pick up a guy in D. Withers who immediately replaces him. So good game from D. Winters. I think he had a really good game against the Seahawks today. My final thoughts: what went well? The defense played exceptionally well in this game. I think without those 2 turnovers, the Seahawks would have been in a bigger hole. Sam Darnold's debut was quite good. I'm happy with his performance. He really didn't make too many mistakes that I saw or too many bad throws. Yes, there are a couple throws where you can go, oh, in the beginning of the game, he threw it behind Jackson Smith-Njigba. He probably led his guy a little too far, and that's the thing. You're coming into a system, it's actual real NFL action in the regular season, and you're playing a full game. He got better as time went on. I do not blame him for this loss. I think the Seahawks brought him in to, again, be a game manager. So he's going to be that, and he's going to try and win the game, and you'll have close games. So hopefully Sam Darnold will step up in week 2 against the Steelers, but I have faith. The offensive line played well. I'm going to say that. I think the offensive line, yeah, they gave up a little bit of leakage, but considering last year, this offensive line is good. Again, first game of the season, not going to take too much salt from this. I think the running lanes were really good. That allows Zach Charbonnet and that allowed Kenneth Walker to get into rhythm. Remember, it's 22 carries. That's how good this offensive line did, because this is Clint Kubiak. This is not Ryan Grubb. We're not going to go into the air raid style of offense. We're going to go into a West Coast style of running and make sure that we can set up for third down play action shots and things like that. That's how this team is going to be run. And When you say to this offensive line, yeah, we're going to run the ball a lot more and we're going to have like 22 carries a game behind two very, very good running backs, in my opinion, in a tandem, this season should be very good. Just sad that we lost this one. What to improve on? Just some crucial mistakes and missteps in this game from Reek Woolen. And I hate to pick on the guy. I hate to pick on one singular player, but Reek Woolen, he's our best coverage corner, but I think Devin Witherspoon is our best corner just all around. In this game, there are crucial mistakes that you can't make. This guy is in his fourth year. He's gonna want a contract this year. And I'm so upset because you can hear it on the broadcast. You can hear Greg Olsen saying he misjudged where the ball was going. He was reading Brock Purdy's eyes like a good corner should, but he misjudged. He made a play in the fourth quarter where Ricky Pearsall double moved and he just burned Reek Woolen. Reek Woolen has all the physical gifts. He has an amazing wingspan, but I think his raw athleticism kind of puts him at a wall. I think he doesn't realize that even in his like fourth year in the league, that just because he has the wingspan and some raw gifts to catch up to guys, even if he messes up, doesn't mean that those guys that he's messing up on are just chumps. He can't rely on his gigantic wingspan to save him all the time. And that was what happened here. Again, I'm sorry for picking on Reek Woolen, but man, it's just some of those plays down the stretch, and the touchdown from Jake Tungalois, again, completely preventable. He misjudged that ball and it cost the Seahawks the game. But also 3-10 on third down on the offensive side. You cannot expect to do that and win football games. Just gonna say it. You cannot at all expect to win football games like that. That's completely unacceptable. Again, it's week one, but man, to lose a game in this fashion where the defense played amazing, they blocked a kick. Julian Love blocked a kick, and they stopped. They stopped the 49ers from scoring on like four of their offensive trips, and it was just it's a tight game where it comes down to so many little tiny things, and that's what really makes me angry here. But again, I got to keep telling myself it's only week one. There are 16 games left in this season. Overall, though, I think this was a good start to the 2025-2026 season. Great to see the 49ers and Seahawks in a rivalry in the NFC West. It's always a pleasure to watch. As a Seahawks fan, hate it because these games are always close, but that's what makes football exciting. I'm glad that it was an exciting game. I really like this new style of offense that Clint Kubiak is running. Let's hope the Seahawks can go 1-1 on the season when they face the Steelers in week two. But for the 49ers, you guys played hard and your stars showed up when it mattered the most. Nick Bosa stealing the game with a strip sack fumble. Christian McCaffrey, we went over his stats. Always a beast. Always a pleasure, 49ers. Like, even though we're rivals, I still have respect for you. I hate you guys with a passion. Your team, that is, not the fans. But man, tough loss. Anyways, guys, that is it for me here for the first game, the season opener of the 2025-2026 NFL season for your Seattle Seahawks. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of this game? And let's hope that we can bounce back in week two and go 1-1 on this season when we face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyways, go Hawks, go, and take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your day.